So in this video, we're going to look at overwinter jobs. People have been asking, so Andy, what do you do over winter? Do I just dump the covers on, or do I not dump the covers on? Do I just leave it? Do I leave my filter system? Do I just make sure things are kept clean? What do I do with feeding the fish? How often do I clean stuff? And so on and so forth. So in this video, I'm going to go through what I do over winter, because, you know, everything slows right down. The fish, oh, there's one. Chad comes to the window, right on cue. Thanks very much. It was good in rehearsal as well, actually. But the other one came up. I'll have to get rehearsal again. So this is looking at how I do stuff over the winter period and how often I do it, and so on and so forth. So waffle, let's get cracked on. See what I do over winter. But first of all, a big thank you to everybody that commented on my quick Happy New Year video that I did on New Year's Eve. It was a very quiet, restrained evening that we really enjoyed. It was great. About 4:15 we went to bed that night. Or was it 4:15? I don't know. Anyway, can't remember. So I hope you had a really good evening as well, because ours was quite good, as you probably saw from that quick clip. Anyway, so let's first of all look at water tests. So I usually do water tests at least once a week, maybe sometimes twice a week, depending, because at the moment in the UK it's raining a lot of the time. Today is an exceptional day that I thought, wow, look at that, sun's out, get out and make that video I've been trying to make for a while. So it just continually seems to want to rain in the UK. We've had some big floods up on the news of people getting flooded out, and oh, it's been ridiculous. So I do a lot of water tests, and when it rains a lot, we're quite lucky in Stoke-on-Trent, well, where I live in this part of Stoke-on-Trent, because the pH in our rainwater is very similar to the pH in my pond. So this is my pond pH, which is nice and stable, 7-ish, something like that. I mean, it says it on my thing as well. I monitor it on my Kactoily, and that says it's 7 point something. I can't remember what it was a minute ago. So I monitor that, and this is my rainwater. So the rainwater and my pond water are so similar. So for me, not a major problem if it throws it down, because it's giving me the same pH. In your area, I don't know, maybe you need to check your own pH, because if you live in an industrial area somewhere where there's a lot of smoke or steam or whatever they're putting from the industry into the atmosphere within a radius, then sometimes the clouds pick up on that rubbish, put it in the cloud, and then poof, dump it on the ground, which is going to land in your pond. So it's always a good idea, if you're getting a lot of rain, is to test your pH in your rain. Now, the only thing I don't get in the rain, obviously, is KH, the buffer for your pH. So the thing with my KH at the moment, it's 3, when it should be between 4 and 6 for me. So it's only 3 at the moment, because I'm getting lots and lots of rainwater going into my pond. Even though I've got my covers on, you know, you still find some gets in. It's just what it is, as it runs off the side of the covers and so on. So I still get, you know, I'm getting this KH, so I still put my tap on every now and again to get the KH back up again, because the KH in my tap water is around about 9. It's about 8 or 9. And I don't need that high, but obviously as soon as by the time it comes into the pond, it's diluted right down to what I need it, which is perfect. So I don't need to be chucking any bicarbonate soda in, and I've got an option to, I suppose, but I might as well just stick the tap on, and I'm doing a water change as well as increasing my KH. So this is an interesting one. Obviously things like ammonia, you may see a bit of a spike in ammonia if you're still feeding, which is another subject I'll talk about in a minute. Over winter. So yeah, it's always an idea that if you are putting food in there, is to keep checking for your ammonia as well, because your bacteria in your filters at the moment could be dropping off because the temperatures aren't that good. And you know, the 3 things that the bacteria like, your good bacteria likes, is darkness, oxygen and warmth. So if you remove any of those elements, a bit like a fire, you take an element away from a fire and it goes out. So if you remove any of the heat, the warmth, the oxygen, or you start hitting it with UV lights, you're going to lose your beneficial bacteria. So at the moment, you know, my filters are potentially running on lower bacteria than they are in the summertime. But I can't prove that, and I can't show that, because I can't test for bacteria in there, apart from seeing that my ammonia levels and my nitrite levels are being managed. That's the only way I personally know that my bacteria is working, is because the elements, you know, the bacteria is turning my ammonia into nitrite, and then nitrite into into nitrite and then nitrite into nitrate. So that's how I know that my bacteria is working. So anybody with a brand new pond out there, it's going to take a while to get this natural changes in your pond system to get them to be working as they should be working. And it's not a 5-minute job. You know, I think mine took around about sort of 2 years to do, to get fully up to speed and to be able to manage itself. So keeping my filters clean, this is something that I really do as and when I need to, because I've got next to no food going in. My pond temperatures at the moment are around about 7. So yeah, filters, I just make sure that I just keep them clean. For example, my filter floss at the moment is looking a bit grubby. In fact, I need to get another roll of filter floss ready for next year, so we may have a trip to a shop that I use to go and get that in future videos. I've also found that I've taken away, or I'm not using at the moment, my brushes for the vortex. Now, why am I doing that then? It's really so I can just see what's going in to the vortex itself, what's going into the bottom, which is next to nothing, because as I said, I'm not feeding lots, there's not a lot of poop and waste and stuff going through there. So it's just for me to say, I know what's in there. Obviously when feeding starts again, there's lots more poop coming through and I need it catching quicker, then the brushes will go back in. But at the moment, brushes are out. Brushes are in the second bay because I don't know where to put them if I take them out, so I might as well leave them in. The KK1000, that is on and off with its air at the moment. You know, as I've always said, I do 12 hours from 7 PM to 7 AM with the air on and then turn the air off just to save a bit of cash. You know, that's a wattage saving. Fourth bay is the Japanese matting, which is where I use my filter floss. You can see there it's a little bit crapped up at the moment, so I've got to clean that in a minute. And then the last bay, Japanese matting, and that's it. So yeah, filters for me, I just keep an eye on them. If they look like they're getting a bit dirty, I'll maybe dump a bay, wash them through with a bit of pond water, or just take the brushes out and just give them a swell. Fish monitoring. I do a lot of fish monitoring, obviously keep an eye on them. Just take the covers off every now and again, have a quick look. But really, this is brilliant for where these windows come in, because you can have your covers on and still see the fish at the windows as and when they come up. So really, for me, fish monitoring, I don't take any fish out, flipping Nora, not in the winter. You know, they've slowed right down now. The stress levels could go up if I start trying to move them out of the pond. So I tend not to move them out of the pond just to give them a check over. I see a lot of people taking fish out, well, any time of the year, really, just to look at them and measure them and touch them and things. And I don't know. I don't really do a lot of that, to be honest, because... Anyway, he's gone. I don't do a lot of that because for me, it kind of stresses the fish out for no point, unless you're taking them out for a reason. You've got a problem with them, you've got maybe something wrong with the body, or you need to look at them, or, you know, just take them out to measure them and put them back in again. I don't know. Do they get used to it if you do it so many times? I don't know. I've never found out that. I was considering taking mine out to measure them. I've not done it for about 2 years now. I don't know. I might do. It kind of contradicts what I've just said there, but you know, I'm not one for taking them out all the time. But yeah, monitoring them, yeah, I keep an eye on them every day. Every day I'm in, you know, I'll have a wander down, have a quick look, see how they are. They usually come to the window if I'm around, or they sort of hear me stomping around in the garden if I'm out with the dog. If you do see something, then you've got to kind of have an educated guess of what you do about it. A lot of the time, like I say, I wouldn't be taking them out if they don't do a lot of flashing, because a lot of parasites aren't around at this time of year when the temperatures are very low, because they become dormant as well. So if your fish goes into winter with a parasite, then you're not going to hopefully see that until it comes out the other side. I know there has been cases recently I've been seeing in Facebook where people have had, and on YouTube, where people have got parasites over the winter. I think Vincent at Twisted Koi, I think he's had a few instances with some parasites at the moment. So I don't find them usually happen in my pond over winter. It seems to be as soon as we hit spring, you know, that's when everything becomes active again and starts causing you fish problems. Fish feeding, and whether you should feed or not over winter. This is a really open and interesting topic that you find a lot of koi keepers have their own opinions on. Feed, not feed, shouldn't, should, what you feed, how you feed, when you feed, and the amount you feed. It's a little bit all over the place, to be honest. I've not seen a Bible somewhere that says this is exactly what you should do, and if you're doing it any different, it's wrong. You know, in one of my previous videos, I commented that I will be feeding below 10. You know, I've got this Aqua Source all season stuff that I'll be feeding whenever they come to the window. Not at the moment. You know, I'd be looking to potentially small handfuls, just, you know, every now and again, should they be there. If they're not there, then I don't. And somebody commented who has a koi pond, and I know of him, and he has some decent sized looking beautiful fish, like nice, and he said no, you're feeding way too cold. You should never feed below 12 degrees. And I was like, oh my god, that's another opinion that, you know, when I first started this hobby I was always told never feed below 10. Fine, that's no problem, didn't feed below 10. Then people are saying, yeah, I feed all year round, you know, anything up down to 8 degrees you can feed. You got this Aqua sauce, salt seasons you can feed. All right, I'll try that. Tried that, yeah, doing that. Oh no, he's all right, just feed to demand. There's a koi doctor that says you can feed whatever temperature you want. Just as long as the fish are there, let them decide. So all of a sudden I get this, I get others saying different. So what are you doing? Comment below, because I love these comments. You know, it's great, because we all learn from something. Every day's a school day. We can't knock things till you've tried them. And I've tried a number of different ways. And, you know, I'm doing the Aqua sauce down to 8 degrees, if that's what it is, I suppose. You know, if that's what they can do to. So I haven't got a full definitive answer. If you messaged me and said, you know, what do you suggest? I would just tell you what I'm doing, and you can make your own mind up from the results I get. The fish are still there. They just come up for food as and when. And, you know, at the moment the pond is at 7 point something, 7.6, 7.5, 7.6. Oh, have a look on the Kactoily thingy. There you go. That's what it is. And as we speak, so I'd go off what that tells me. And I don't know what else to tell you about feeding fish over winter. You know, some people don't feed fish at all. As soon as they get to 10 degrees, that's it. No food whatsoever. And the gentleman that messaged and said you're going way, but you shouldn't go below 12. Okay, you know that the fish. I believe the fish can go for months without food because of they slow themselves right down if you feed them up in summer, and then they can last throughout the winter. It's an open discussion on that. Comment below. Love it. Pond covers. Now I've seen a video recently from a guy he's got a business that deals with ponds, and he says anybody that tells you that you should put covers on your pond, they're lying. No, not really. Anybody that tells you should put covers on your pond, they're basically telling you what they do on their pond. Personal choice, really, to be honest. There's no law to it. There's no, oh my god, you should do it, otherwise everything will die. No, not really. I put pond covers on my pond for to stop the wind chill. You know, it basically slows changes in temperature up and down, I believe. It stops snow going in my pond. I don't want it where if it snows, which it does. I don't want a lot of snow going in my pond. I can just basically brush it off. It reduces the amount of winter rains we have. I spoke about earlier about the rain going into your pond. It reduces that. So it doesn't do anything. It doesn't keep temperature. It doesn't hold temperature that I'm aware of on mine. You know, there's lots of people that put these covers on just to do what I've just said. Some people don't use them at all. Personal preference, like I say, I'm not coming in here lying to you. This is why you should put your covers on. The covers are there to just because I want them on there. I don't want rain going in. It reduces the wind chill, stops the fish jumping out over winter if that was decided to do. Stops predators as well. You know, it reduces the amount of predators that at the moment a lot of rivers and lakes are real cold, and they're very deep. So you potentially have a warmer area at the bottom of a lake. With ponds, you have to have a really deep pond to have a massive change in temperature. So with these things, you know, you got predators coming around looking for prey that's in your local rivers or your canals and streams and whatever, or on the bottom. So there's not a lot of prey around. So it also helps with that. So yeah, covers for me. Just keep an eye on them. I had one nearly blow off the other day. Forgot to put the locking thing back on when I'd open it up. But yeah, I just put them on, let them sit there, and pond covers. Ta-ding! Clays and water conditioners. Now I use them through the summer period on a weekly, sometimes fortnightly basis. I use obviously my favourite, and I also like taking a mickey out of the name, and Koi Master Advantage, because I bought a tub of that a while back and it's lasted me ages, and I've still got it, so I'm going to use it until I get to the end of it. Would I buy some more? I don't know. That's maybe something for another video. So water conditioners and clays, would I use them in my pond over winter? I created a video on that, and if you want to see what happens in the video with that, by all means click this video here and I'll show you about my trials on whether you use clays or water conditioners over winter. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, share, and ding that like. Just click the thumbs up, because it makes such a difference, that thumbs up button does. Thanks very much for watching. Good bad lifestyle.